I'm Danny Epperson, and I'm inside the picturesque Commodore Dinner Theater in downtown Portsmouth. Thanks for joining me for WHRO Cinema 15 and our feature presentation, 1955's East of Eden. It's hard to believe that East of Eden is James Dean's first starring role. From the moment he appears on screen, you can't take your eyes off of him. He steals every scene with his looks, his physicality, and his interpretation of the character. East of Eden is a partial adaptation of John Steinbeck's novel of the same name. The film is set in rural Northern California at the start of World War I. Raymond Massey stars as Adam Trask, a lettuce farmer and single father of twin sons, Cal, played by James Dean, and Aaron, played by Richard Davalos. Cal struggles to win the favor of his religious father while wrestling with a secret about the mother who abandoned them. The title East of Eden comes from a line in the book of Genesis, and the tension between brothers Cal and Aaron parallels the conflict between Cain and Abel.
You have no repentance. You're bad.
Hiring newcomer James Dean was a risky decision for director Elia Kazan. He wanted Marlon Brando or Paul Newman to play Cal, but the studio felt both actors were too old for the part. James Dean seemed an unlikely choice at first. He was a skinny, emotional 22-year-old who had to put on weight to play the all-American farm boy. Dean was a recent graduate of the famed Actors Studio in New York and one of the first adopters of method acting, a technique where actors draw on personal experiences to recreate the emotions of a role. Dean had the perfect personal history to play Cal. His relationship with his own father was strained, and his mother died of cancer when he was 9. During some of the film's most emotional scenes, the actor's tears were real. In fact, he would get so worked up that Kazan delayed production until his star would calm down. Kazan came to appreciate the angst and vulnerability that Dean brought to the role, saying, quote, "It was the most apt piece of casting I've ever done in my life." For Dean, the sweat and tears paid off. East of Eden was the first of 2 Academy Award nominations he would receive. Unfortunately, both came posthumously. I'll explain after the movie, but for now, hit the lights, grab something cool from the fridge, and get ready for East of Eden. That was an incredible film. The performance by James Dean was a revelation for teenage audiences who had found a new kind of movie star. He was cool, unconventional, and emotionally unafraid. But not everyone was a fan. Raymond Massey, who played Adam Trask, came from a classical theater background. He was put off by Dean's ad-libbing and unpredictability. Director Elia Kazan found ways to leverage that tension. He encouraged Dean to push Massey's buttons behind the scenes so his anger would come out in front of the camera.
If you leave this room now, we may never be able to talk again.
When Trask rejects Cal's gift of hard-earned money, the scene was supposed to end with Cal storming off. Instead, Cal sobs and throws himself onto his father.
Cal!
Massey's shocked and angry response was a genuine reaction to Dean's unscripted revision.
Cal!
Incredibly, James Dean only starred in 3 motion pictures. East of Eden was the only movie of those 3 that he saw. On September 30th, 1955, only 7 months after the film was released, Dean died in a car crash. He was 24 years old. His second film, Rebel Without a Cause, was released 3 weeks after his funeral. His final film, Giant, was released 1 year later. That performance earned him his 2nd Oscar nomination. James Dean is the only actor ever to have received 2 posthumous acting nominations.
James Dean in East of Eden.
James Dean in Giant.
Dean continues to be a top-earning celebrity who has passed on. His estate earns at least $5 million annually. I'm Danny Epperson, and I will see you next week for WHRO Cinema 15 and another classic movie.